Yo, 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 what's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Bravon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. That there's sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And it's that new dynamic that I promised you guys on Monday when we did Sports Plus Life, the regular episode. But anyway, before we get started, please allow me to give shout outs to Two Tough Sports, that Madden Gamer League, where the games are broadcasted on Twitch. If you think you a baller, if you think you a shot caller, if you think you got the skizzills to pay the MF and Bizills, come to Too Tough, baby. And of course, Heather's Craft Haven on TikTok. Now, we got a lot to talk about. Of course, if you saw the thumbnail, you seen power. So we're going to start off talking about power first. But I hope everybody has had a wonderful and blessed Friday, June the 14th, 2024. Man, let me tell you something. I'm tired, bro. Yo, this week of work, like we went, it was so busy. I was so busy this week of work. And I'm actually I was in a water gun fight today. I ain't been in a water gun fight in years. And that shit, like, I done forgot how much of a toll a water gun fight can take out of you. But it is what it is. It was fun regardless. But anyway, let me be the first to wish all fathers happy Father's Day, early happy Father's Day. All the real motherfuckers. Okay. All the real fathers, happy Father's Day. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I keep forgetting that it's Father's Day weekend because we don't. I'm not trying to be funny, but we don't necessarily put the energy in the Father's Day that we put into Mother's Day. I'm not saying that as a hater or anything like that. What up, homie? What up, Rob? What up, Lomar? Oh, my boy Rob effing Chandler is not gonna be here for conspiracy theories. So you know what that means? That means I got to do conspiracy theory all by my damn self. Ain't that something? I mean, I'm going to give y'all one conspiracy theory. It was something that Rob sent me a couple of days ago, and I thought it was a trip. I ain't going to lie to you. I thought it was a trip. I've always been fascinated with this story, but we'll deal with that when that time comes. But so first up, we're going to talk about power. Then we're going to talk about this BS that's known as the NBA Finals. You know, it is what it is. And I'm only on YouTube and Twitch because now what's going on with Facebook, why I can't be seen on Facebook like I've been for the last 5 months, is simple. Facebook now has new criteria as far as, what you can and cannot do in regards to, I guess, streaming on Facebook. I mean, so it ain't that deep. I can send a link to all of my peoples on Facebook. I'm actually on Facebook Live right now using my phone and my laptop. Well, using my phone on Facebook Live, but I am on live on the live on my phone. I'm on StreamYard and YouTube and Twitch and Twitch on my laptop. So, it ain't that deep. It's not that deep in regards to the whole Facebook thing because I can get in contact with you guys. You just have to click the link and just watch me through YouTube. Now, who is a power fanatic like me? Now, this is the first ever quote unquote power recap that I've done on this show. Who is a power fanatic like me? Now, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, I'm about to get off here. Click the link. Go to my Facebook page. Click the link and then come on to YouTube and watch. So I'm out of here so I can focus my energy on my YouTube viewers. You heard me? But anyway, who is a power fanatic like me? Because I am a damn power fanatic, okay? I am definitely a power fanatic. I've been rocking with power the entire 10 years, okay? This is the 10th year. And they say this is the last season, at least, of Ghost. And I heard this is going to be the last season in regards to Force, Tommy's show as well. Ain't no way this is going to be the last season of Raising Kanan. Not if you saw the way Raising Kanan ended. But You love Power, Lomar, bro. I love Power. I do. And so this is the second. This is the second episode. Give me 1 second. This is the second episode of the final season, and this is To Thine Own Self, episode 2, To Thine Own Self. Forgive me for stepping away, and I will talk about the first episode as well, I Don't Die Easy. So let's quickly review the first episode, which was last week. The first episode, which was last week, it picks up right where the last season left off, right after that huge gunfight in that hangar situation that Tariq found himself in, where pretty much everybody had turned on him, and he was like, how will Tariq St. Patrick get out of this one? You know, it's like he got out, Braden came and saved his ass. So it picks up from right there. So everybody's after Tariq. What up, Tony?
Are you talking the next episode?
No, I'm talking about the episode. I'm doing a quick review.
You talking about the first episode?
I'm doing a quick review of last week's episode before I get into the episode that just went off. Okay.
Oh, well, now I got to go then, because I ain't watched the episode that went off yet.
Oh, bro, why you, bro? I told you I'm coming on right after the episode. Come on at 8. The episode.
Man, come on at 8. Look, okay. So, I was gonna come on and catch you before you started talking about that. Before you got into conspiracy.
Bro, no, bro. It's just gonna be me tonight with conspiracy theories. Rob can't make it tonight for conspiracy theories. It's just gonna be me, and I only have one conspiracy, and this is a tale as old as time. But look, I put the thumbnail. It's a Power thumbnail, so of course I'm gonna start talking about Power first. You think I want to talk about the garbage right now that is the NBA Finals? Fuck the finals. Okay, but let me review over the last episode. Before you exit stage left, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but I understand you ain't seen it. So basically, like I said, they pick up from the gunfight, and everybody's after Tariq. Noma's trying to put the hit out. Kane got shot. Braden shot Kane. Shot Kane in the arm, but Kane is still. No, I will get into that, and I'll get into that situation later, homie. But Kane is he's so bloodthirsty right now because he wants Tariq dead. He wants Tariq dead, but there's a problem. There's already a problem. Excuse me, I'm parched. Excuse me. Everybody wants Tariq dead. But the problem is everybody who's supposed to be dead ain't dead. That's why the episode is called I Don't Die Easy. You think that Monet was killed, right? Monet was in surgery, and she had, I guess, an out-of-body experience where she's sitting there watching herself being operated on, and her 2 baby daddies made the smoothest appearance I think that I've seen in a situation like that. I laughed my ass off when first Mecca came out and started chastising her. And then Lorenzo came out and pounded up Mecca and started chastising her too. I was like, first of all, these 2 niggas look like they could be cousins. So I guess we know what her character's preference in men are. High yellow Puerto Rican dudes. Okay, no problem. But they was basically telling her, you deserve
bald head. You forgot the bald head part.
Bald head.
You gotta be bald head too.
Yeah, you gotta be bald headed. But you gotta they were basically telling Mo that she deserved it, that she should die. She deserved to die. And to be honest with you, they weren't saying anything wrong. I mean, everything that they were spitting out was facts.
Zeke told her too.
Yeah.
Don't forget Zeke told her too.
I was gonna get to Zeke. Yeah, Zeke came out with the blonde top, you know, trying to still look like he's 19, even though he's actually the oldest child. They won't tell her nothing wrong. They was basically letting her know all of the shit that she did, and she was saying everything I did was for family. The daddy was like, "Oh, so killing me, that was for the family." And then Zeke daddy said, "Abandoning Zeke, that was for family too, right?" So she was basically hearing what the hell she didn't want to hear. But bottom line is, Monet pulls through. She ends up pulling through. All while in the meantime, Noma puts $100,000 reward on Tariq and Braden each. $100,000 on both of their head. So now they on the run. Kane, while he's shot, he don't even want to get treatment. This nigga just want to go get him because He's thinking you shot my mama, because that's the story that Drew and Diana told everybody. And then Effie, yo, let me tell you something. I don't know how y'all feel about these characters, but these are the characters that need to go. First, Effie, never liked her. I never liked Effie. She need to go, because 1 minute you on, 1 minute you rocking with Kane, the next minute you rocking with Tariq. Bitch, make your mind up. Matter of fact, just go. Just she need to get got. Diana need to get got because she's scandalous as fuck too. Monet need to get got because she's scandalous as fuck too. I feel sorry for Drew. Drew has caught the short end of the stick, pause, in every scenario during these seasons
Drew always trying to catch the end of a stick. There's a certain kind of stick.
Stop it. I said pause for a reason. Hey, Drew, every time Drew falls to somebody, they either break up with him, or for some reason he got to kill him. And so Drew is just like, he out for blood. Like he hate everybody right now. The only person he don't hate right now is Diana, and he don't hate Kane neither. But it's like him and Kane are always on opposite ends of the earth. But he hate his mama. He hates her. He really hates her. His mama made him take out his lover, and made his lover take out his daddy first. So he can't stand her. But yeah, all of them niggas, they need to go. They need to go.
All of them need to go, bruh.
But all the while, people chasing Tariq, Noma putting hits out. Davis McClain. If y'all remember what happened with Davis McClain, played by Method Man, at the end of last season, his brother, who had the terminal illness, killed Sax and then himself. And for that, Davis McClain, because of his supposed possible involvement, he's now been suspended. He's no longer an attorney at the time being. Tariq tries to call him when he is on the run. Davis got 2 butt-naked chicks up in the shower. He like, I'm no longer your lawyer. Gotta go. But then after that, Noma and her bodyguard show up at Davis's house, and Davis pull a gun on him. He like, y'all ain't the first motherfuckers to run up in here with a gun. All I'm gonna say about Method Man's character, he a real one, because everybody's trying to get him to sell Tariq out, and he won't do it. Like, he's a real one. Davis McClain is a real dude, because most niggas would have probably.
He ain't too real.
Oh, he a real one. You ain't
seen he ain't too real.
You ain't seen tonight's episode either, bro.
I don't need to. He ain't too real. In reality, he'd have pulled the trigger. Somebody just rolling up in my crib. Remember, that was the original series Power Ghost. Well, with the father, where people just walk up in their crib, walk up in their apartment, take the elevator, and come out in their apartment.
Yeah, they would have got.
They'd have got. In reality, he'd have pulled that trigger.
I mean, well, look, this is Power. This is the Power universe, okay? This is what it is. Davis is a real one. He a real one, because everybody keep getting him to sell out Tariq, and my boy will not do it. And now, this one person that I haven't seen yet in this season is Councilman Rashad Tate. I'm wondering when his character is going to come up. But anyway, back to analyzing season 1. Drew and Diana are trying to find ways to either get Tariq murdered, Braden murdered, just in case Monet pulls through, so Tariq won't spill the beans on who really put the hit out on her. And Kane doesn't know either. So Drew and Diana cook up a plan, really Drew's idea, to kidnap Braden's sister. That didn't go well. Drew got maced. Diana left because she got a call from the hospital. Drew gets maced, and Braden finds out. He calls Braden before he gets maced, and Braden is like, no, fuck this, because at that time Tariq and Braden was trying to get Noma daughter. So when Braden got the phone call about his sister being kidnapped, he's like, oh hell no, I got to go, Tariq. So he goes to get his sister. Eventually after Becca maces Drew, she's on the run. And she sees Braden, and she's like, "Come on!" Drew is trying to get Becca and Braden, and then Tariq pulls up with an old red Fox pickup truck, and knocks the shit out of Drew's car, fucks up the side of his face, and he gets out talking shit. Now, how the hell he had a clear shot at Drew? How the hell he missed that one? I get, but this is the power universe. That's all I can say. But he gets out talking shit. He's saying, the fuck you gonna do? He's like, what the fuck Kane gonna do? He like, you wait till I tell Monet what happened. They still on the run. So Davis calls Tariq and says, yo, I'm no longer your attorney. Only thing I can tell you, get the fuck out of Dodge. If you got some money, get the fuck out of Dodge, because these niggas is after you. It's $100K on both of y'all head. Stay alive, get the fuck out of Dodge. So they go back to Stansfield to get some money. They see a couple of their classmates. Meanwhile, Kane and Effie are looking for Tariq too. And that's what I said about Effie. Sometimes this chick is with Tariq, sometimes she with Kane. One of the classmates, the girl who's played by light-skinned Keisha with her thick, beautiful ass, told Kane and Effie that Tariq was there, not knowing what's going on, but just because some cops was looking for Tariq, and light-skinned Keisha put the nah. I don't know who you talking about. Why you looking for a black man? She pulled one of them cards. And but once Kane found out that Tariq was on campus, here comes Effie texting Tariq, telling him Kane is here to kill you. It's probably gonna be others too, because a few people was after them when Mona put that text out. And also, remember Angela Valdez? Her nephew is a federal agent now. He is wanted to investigate in the Tariq St. Patrick case, because remember, that case was closed. But his mother, who was Angela's sister, you remember her from the original Power series, he's like, leave this family the fuck alone. And he's like, Ma, I promise you, if nothing will happen. He meets up with Tariq in the parking lot of the Stansfield. And he's like, yo, I got this document. I got this jump drive with all your activity, with Noma's activity, because Tariq got Obi, Noma's bodyguard, some green cards. And he found out about the green cards and put two and two together. But then this other shooter, that's coming after Tariq for the ranch, for the bounty, he starts shooting. They all run. The shooter gets killed by the federal agent, and Tariq is like, hold up. We about to get some motherfucking leverage. We about to get Noma off our ass. They take the shooter's phone, call Noma. Tariq got the gun to the federal agent's head and is like, look, this dude got information that will put your ass away. You'll lose everything. Matter of fact, we'll all be fucked. He's like, I can dead him right now, but I need the truth. I want the bounty off my fucking head. Now, Noma puts the computer on mute. It's like, man, fuck him. He came after my daughter. But Obi was like, what other move do you have to make? We can't go back to Italy because of the dirty shit we did there. This is the only place we got. Take him up on his offer. And she's like, okay, fine. But let it be known, I want him and everything that he loves dead. So she's like, you know what? Okay, you can live for now, but I don't want to hear about you selling no drugs. He says, okay, bet. He kills a federal agent, makes it look like him and Braden make it look like that the shooter shot at the agent. And the shooter shot the agent, and Tariq grabbed the gun and killed the shooter, so they can come out looking like the hero. But then even after Noma puts out the word, don't fuck with Tariq or Braden, Kane is like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna pretend like I ain't get the text, because he just seeing blood. But by the time but then Tariq calls Drew and is like, do you want me to tell your mother what the fuck happened? Or do you want me to tell Kane who the fuck put the hit out on your mother? Then you need to get the nigga up off of me. And then now all of a sudden, Drew and Diana's story changes. It was not Tariq who shot Monet. It was not Tariq. And Kane is like, the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Whatever. But he stands down anyway. And then at the end of this episode, Monet wakes up. So that's a quick review over last week's episode, I Don't Die Easy. Now, to this episode, Tony, I don't know what you want to do. I'm about to spill the beans.
Well, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna contribute to Conspiracy Friday before I dip.
Hold on,
and just say this.
Come back.
No, because I gotta eat dinner.
Eat dinner and come back, bro. It's fucking 9:30.
No, it's 9:30. I eat dinner. Hitler and the Nazis is on Netflix. It's a documentary. It's 6 episodes. Anybody that's listening, watch it. Forget that it's Hitler and just think in terms of what we're living in right now and the Republicans, the MAGA people's 2025 plan. Listen for the similarities. Just watch the documentary. Listen about the rise of Hitler.
I got a message for you saying that Nancy Pelosi admitted that January 6th was her fault.
Listen to the similarities.
Why don't you just eat your dinner and get back, bro?
Of what you're hearing. So I'll leave that there. In terms of the power universe, you got to explain a whole lot by it's the power universe. It's the power universe. There's so much nonsensical stuff. They even biting from other movies and other media out there. The John Wick thing, people look at their phone, it's a hit out on them, and now I just miraculously know where to find Tariq St. Patrick, just like they knew where to find Becca, just like they knew where to find everyone knows where to find.
Well, Becca was still on campus. Becca was Diana's roommate.
I understand they were sitting there in the dorm room waiting on her, but it was just convenient that she did show up there. But the whole point is, a lot of power. And I mean, just for entertainment purpose, I guess if you don't think too deeply, it's okay. But if you're thinking in sense of reality and a whole bunch of things, I'm sitting here looking at Tyreek like, why would you and Braden know how to attack an airport, armed security? Commando style.
We're not throwing shots before I can do my review of episode 2. Eat your dinner.
Well, we gotta throw shots because episode 1 has already happened.
I love the show.
So wait a minute though. What already happened. So I'm just commenting on what has already happened.
Okay.
Like literally, they're attacking an airport with professional security, and these dudes act like they two commandos. When really they two,
when they was going after her daughter,
going after the daughter, and I'm like, these are hired, trained security dudes. Probably with military backgrounds, special forces backgrounds, and they just able to roll up on and take all of them out.
Another side note: Noma's daughter thinks she's full of shit. She thinks Noma's full of shit.
That's the whole point in the character. Noma, which they're biting off of. We've seen this on other movies where you got a powerful criminal figure like that who basically is merciless with everybody, but they got a weakness, and their weakness is their child. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what the purpose of the daughter is. She is Noma's weakness. And probably will end up being her undoing on some level.
Well, maybe. I don't know, because like I said, if I could get into episode 2, I could explain more. I could explain more. The daughter, honestly, I don't think the daughter is going to be Noma's undoing. I really don't. But I will get into that as I talk about episode 2. Now, on to episode 2. Okay?
I'll talk to you later. I'm out.
Come on back. Eat your dinner and come on back. Eat your din and come on back. Now, on to episode 2. All right. Here we go. So, if you remember right before the end of episode 1, before Tariq and Braden went back to Stansfield, they were just sitting in the car having a little moment saying, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could actually be college kids and not have to worry about, the game, and just worried about our only stress be passing our final exam and bitches, pretty much. So they had that moment. They did. They had that moment. So now they're being deemed as heroes because of the situation that happened in the parking lot of Stansfield. Now they're being seen as heroes. So, when the episode started off and I saw them wake up in the dorm room, I'm like, oh shit, they like legit back in school. Now, here's something funny. They showed a scene where they was removing the Weston name off of the gym. So, the Westons, because Weston Holdings was a Ponzi scheme, like everybody hate them motherfuckers. Like everybody hates them. And people, one matter of fact, one of the students came up to Braden and was like, fuck you, my mom lost all her money and your family's Ponzi scheme. And Braden was like, I'm 20 years old. I didn't have shit to do with that. But Braden again, somehow, some way, has landed on his feet with a family member who is a real estate broker. So he's working for a real estate firm, whatever, rich white privilege. I mean, I'm just gonna call it what it is. So this episode starts first. They introduced Michael Ealy's character, Detective Carter, not from Rush Hour, Detective Carter. They introduced him at the end of the first episode, the very end, as the federal agent's mom, Valdez, Angie Valdez's sister, I guess knows him. They know each other. She said he was murdered. He said he'll get to the bottom of it. So they start with him. Him and his DEA people are talking about how that Tariq St. Patrick story is, they think is full of shit. But be that as it may, Tariq and Braden wake up in Tariq's dorm room, and now they're being seen around the campus as heroes. Oh, thank you so much, Tariq. You're such a hero. You're such a hero. You grabbed the gunman of the guy who shot the cop and killed him. Oh, you're a fucking hero. Hoorah! You belong here, Stansfield, bitch. In so many words. So Tariq is trying to downplay the shit, even though he knows that's fucking impossible. But what they have realized is that now they can't sell drugs. That's part of their truce agreement with Noma. And now Tariq, his suspension from school has been lifted. He's back on campus, obviously, but now he has to actually get a job in order to pay his tuition. Has to get a job, and Tariq don't like that. Tariq was a rich kid, but even before he became infatuated with the game, Tariq was a rich kid because his father Ghost was rich. So Tariq only knows money. He don't know being broke. And his main source of money for the last couple of years has been the game. Has been, that work. So he is not flattered at all with doing a 9 to 5. And that's pretty much what he's doing, a 9 to 5. Meanwhile, with the Tejadas, Monet is out the hospital. She's doing physical therapy, but she wants to find out who's the person who shot me. So Kane is going through questioning everybody. And they're getting no luck. Well, they're not getting any answers because Kane doesn't know that it was Diana and Drew who put the hit out on their own mother. I mean, that's just what happened, just what it was. So Monet keeps asking, who put the hit out? Who put the hit out? Who put the hit out? No. Tariq don't know how to do regular work. Like I said, like I just said, Tariq was rich, grew up rich. Daddy was a hustler, and then all he knew how to do, then he learned, he fell in love with the game or whatever. So the fact that he has to do a 9 to 5 just to keep his tuition up, he don't like that. My boy is not happy about that one bit. But again, now here's the funny part. Class has started. They're in class. So you got Tariq, Effie, and Diana in the same fucking classroom. And I'm sitting here like, bruh, how the hell am I going to be able to sit in a classroom and sit here and look at two chicks who like 5 minutes ago was trying to get me killed? And now we sitting in class together like everything, and they having a debate. And you could tell they was throwing little subtle shots at each other. Well, at least Tariq was throwing, Tariq had his opinion, and Effie tried to say, nah, well, it could be this. And then after class, Effie's gonna be like, Tariq, can I talk to you? And Tariq is like, bitch, what? And she's like, look, I was in my feelings when I went to Mona and told her about the daughter. I didn't think she would try to kill you. And Tariq was like, bitch, what? What the hell you think she was going to try to do? You fucking crazy? So then she tries to make it seem like she did him a solid by, well, I made it up. I text you and let you know Kane was trying to kill you. She actually asked, are we good? Are we good now? He said, fuck no. What the fuck? And I was like, even I was looking at the TV like, bitch, is you crazy? I mean, I wish I could have just been a random student or a random professor walking by in that scene. I'd have just stopped and be like, bitch, is you crazy? Did you watch the end of season 3? Bitch, is you crazy? Are we good? Man, please. Nigga, if I went on college, I would pull out a gun and pop 2 in you now. Biatch. Like, I'm like, are you serious? I mean, she actually, but like when she said, I was like, this bitch crazy. This bitch crazy. But see, Effie thinks that she's found it out, but she just got pulled deeper into it because Effie was looking at this engineering program at Stanford, not Stansfield, Stanford. And one of her professors said, hey, you should go for it. You should go for it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So Diana is like, what was that all about? The conversation with Tariq. And Effie's like, look, we need to talk somewhere more private. And they had a private conversation. Basically, Effie saying, yo, y'all need to get on y'all game and move this fucking work for Noma because I've been holding down the shit all by myself. And so what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? So she schedules a private meeting with Noma. And she overhears Noma wanting to do business with the Russians. She wants to do business with the Russians. So Effie is like, all right, I am moving all of this product pretty much by myself. I want more money. And Noma's like, bitch, you just did what the fuck you were told to do. And now you want some more money for it? He's like, why the hell would I do that? And so she was like, well, I can get you the Russians. And Obi's like, hello, little girl, what can you do that I can't? And she's like, sometimes doing a man's job is actually doing a woman's job. And Obi's like, what? So Effie goes to this Russian restaurant and she's like, she starts talking with, I guess, the Russian leaders, mafia leaders, whatever. And she starts talking a little shit, start talking about the leader's daughter. And he started feeling some type of way, but like, hold on, bitch, I don't know you, what you know about my daughter. And she's like, I know your daughter wants to be on the Princeton swimming team. She's like, I'm a hacker. I can go in there, hack and change the scores and get you and get your daughter into Princeton. But I want you to work with Noma. And she was like, nope. He's like, okay, I can. He's like, okay, but I got somebody in Yale, blase, blase. So basically he agrees. Now let's rewind a little bit. Monet is doing physical therapy, but she's becoming a stubborn, restless chick that she always is. She wants to know what's going on. Who the fuck tried to shoot me? Blase, blase, blase. And she starts and like, who the fuck tried to shoot me? What's going on? What y'all moving that work? And then she found out that Noma's talking to the Russians. And Monet's like, no, fuck that. No. Because she had a borderline treaty with them that she had to renege on. So her and the Russians is at odds. But she's like, first of all, no, she's gonna have to hit us for me. We're not working with no fucking Russians. I'm gonna go see her myself. But all the while, all of these little sync running and all of this stuff is starting to give Monet flashbacks of when she was younger. I guess with Kane. Because at first, when Kane was a baby, at first I thought it was Zeke, but Lorenzo was around. And we know the baby daddy of Zeke was Mecca. So now here's the thing about it. In the flashbacks, Lorenzo wasn't bald-headed. He wasn't bald-headed. And basically, they was just starting off as far as getting into the life, getting into that drug life, whatever. So she's having her flashbacks because, she's trying to do better, do right by the kids. And again, Drew fucking hates her. So while doing physical therapy, Monet is like, I'm gonna need to get the fuck out of here because I just need to get out the house. She takes a fucking, I guess, a pill, a strong, I guess, antihistamine, and she decides to pull up on Noma at the same time that Effie and the Russians are supposed to meet up with Noma as well to start doing business. And everybody draw their guns on everybody. Effie's like, what the fuck is she telling Noma, what the fuck is she doing here talking about Monet? The Russians pull guns out. Like I said, everybody pull their damn guns out. Monet passes out. Effie puts her in a car and takes her home. And when she wakes up, it's Drew, Kane, and Diana. And they're like, Monet, what was you doing? Kane is like, what the fuck was you doing? Like, you're trying to take over shit like you always do, but the game is different. You need to basically, he was just telling her to bow out. And she was like, get the fuck out my room, Kane. And Kane was like, here we go again. Get the fuck out my room, Kane. So now, here's the funny part. After that happened, Monet confides in the Drew and Diana that she thinks that maybe, since nobody has found the shooter, she thinks that maybe it was Kane who put out the hit on Monet. And Drew and Diana looking at each other like, oh, Kane would never. And I'm like, I know he would never, because y'all motherfuckers would. I mean, I was laughing. I was laughing my ass off. And then it was a scene where Drew had bought Monet some food, and Monet was talking about basically giving Drew the reasons why she got him to kill Gordo and the reason why she got Gordo to kill their daddy. And Drew was like, are you serious? I'm thinking you're going to apologize, but instead you're trying to justify it. And when he went in the room to get her medicine, he was starting to mix the pills. I busted out laughing because as soon as I saw him look at them pills, I said, this nigga really hates her. And Diana's like, no, stop. We're better than that. We need to be better than her. Monet overhears that, asked their cousin, is it too late for me to get them back? Drew was like, well, you're asked. She asked Drew's like, well, that's kind of a start. Fuck all that. So Kane takes the initiative, if you will, to go with Effie, who now has an interview with these Stanford people. She's like, God damn it. Now Kane is asking, hey, let's meet back up with the Russians. And let's set this shit straight. And Effie's like, man, fuck all that. No, I got shit I got to do. I did my part. I tried to give the Russians. Your mama fucked that up. It is what it is. So Kane is like, you know what? Fuck it, fine. I'll figure it out. Because basically, Noma pulls up on Kane is like, your mom fucked this shit up. You better get it right, or guess what? Y'all niggas gonna have to pay. And you know what that means. Chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. So Effie ends up saying, fine, basically, because she do got feelings for Kane. But like I said, this is confused bitch. I wish somebody would fucking off her. I do. I really do. I mean, I never liked Effie back when these motherfuckers was in high school. Like, she just always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, you a scandalous ass bitch. But, so she agrees. She brings these pictures of military grade weapons that she has hacked and taken the serial numbers off of, and they're clean, and the Russians could do that if they go into business with Noma. And the Russians agree. They said, but here's the one stipulation. I only want to talk to her, and her being Effie means he don't want to fuck with Noma. He don't want to fuck with Kane. He don't want damn sure don't want to fuck with Monet. Only person he want to talk to is Effie. So Kane goes to Noma and says what happens, but Noma kind of flips, gets Obi to grab him like she gonna cut his throat, and he's like, yo, wait a minute. Why the fuck are you doing this? And we took the initiative to make the shit right. So Noma is like, and he was like, Kane quoted something that she was exactly going to say, and Noma was kind of fascinated with basically Kane's kahunas. So she tells Obi to let him go. She tells Obi to leave, and Obi is starting to feel some type of motherfucking way. You can tell, because Obi did go behind Noma's back to Tariq for the green cards, and you can basically, Noma can tell that she's not feeling Obi. The trust is starting to dwindle, and she said, you want to talk about this arrangement now over some scotch? And I'm sitting there thinking, oh shit, Kane about to get them yams. That was the last you saw Kane in that episode. But so fast forward to Tariq. Tariq goes to see Tasha because Detective Carter, Michael Ealy, pulls up on Tariq at his job at the school and is like, yo, I know who the fuck you are. I have a feeling of what the fuck you did, that you killed the federal agent. Your dad was a piece of shit. So basically, you got the same smell as your dad. I'm gonna put you where the fuck you belong. And Tariq is, having a good poker face. I don't know what you're talking about. I hope the federal agent and his family get justice. Blah blah blah. And so Michael Ealy's not buying it one bit, or Detective Carter. So as Tariq's walking away, he said, "Oh, when last time you talked to your mama?" So that kind of hits a switch for Tariq. He turns around and said, I can't talk to my mom. He said, oh, I know, because the witness protection is about to chuck her ass out. And your mama out on the street where anybody can get her, that's got to keep you up at night. So Tariq goes to the town that the mama is, that Tasha's in, to check on her. She's working at a grocery store, and her name isn't Tasha, it's Rachel. And Tariq is like, yo, what's this about? You about to get kicked off of the witness protection? And they didn't like the fact that I snuck out when she shot Monet. And Tariq is like, yo, whatever you do, just don't fucking leave New York. Don't leave she said, don't come back to New York. He said, don't come back to New York. And she's like, Tariq, you all right? He's like, I'm good. Just don't you come back to New York. Meanwhile, this old white dude comes up and tries to put his arm around Tasha, Rachel. And she's like, yo, I will be back in my register. Chill out. So that pisses Tariq off. So when the old man gets off his shift, Tariq pulls up on him and smashes his hand, kicks the shit out of him, and says, if you ever fuck with Rachel again, I'm going to bring niggas to your house and burn it down. And if you file a complaint, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it any motherfucking way. Do you understand me? But while he's on his way back to New York, his piece of shit car breaks down. Because remember, near the end of the last season, he was looking for his mom. Two-Bit had the information that Saxe left after he was killed. And Two-Bit was like, no, this is going to cost you some money. This is going to cost you money, and I want your whip. So they switch whips. His whip breaks down. He calls Braden. Braden comes out there, and all that let's just be regular college kids talk by Tariq is out the fucking door. He's like, bro, I'm not used to being broke. I'm not used to being broke. Fuck that regular college kid shit. I hate being broke. I'm not cool with making $11 an hour. I'm not. And Braden is like, yeah, well, I'm not cool with making a 9 to 5. Because at first Braden was like, nah, bro. Noma said this. Noma said that. Eventually he convinces Braden, and Tariq is like, yo, I got to get my fucking whip back because this broke down shit ain't working. So he had a spare key to his old car, and they pulled up on Two-Bit. I mean, not confronting him, but they saw Two-Bit getting out to go eat at a restaurant. Tariq was like, this was funny to me. Tariq was like, as long as my spare key works, I should be good. And when Two-Bit goes in the restaurant, Tariq unlocks the car with a spare key, gets in. Two-Bit sees somebody stealing, because he didn't see it was Tariq. And Two-Bit yells, get the fuck out of my car. And Tariq laughs. He says, motherfucker, this is my shit. And then he pulled off. I busted out laughing. I was like, oh, shit. I said, that was smooth as a bitch. But then Tariq finds his way to meet up with Monet. And I was like, oh, shit, what is this about? So Monet is like, are you strapped? And he's like, fuck yes, I'm strapped. I'm not talking to you without being strapped. So they go sit in the car, and they're like, so Monet's like, so you didn't shoot me? He's like, no, I didn't shoot you. And I thought he was going to spill the beans then about Drew and Diana, but I guess it's too early in the season for everybody to find out what happened. But you'll see 2 and 2 is about to be put together, because they was like, how the fuck did whoever shot me got my address? Somehow Kate Egan's name came up, and he was like, I thought he should have too. So Monet was like, who the fuck is Kate Eden? She know Tommy because season 1, Tommy pulled up on her. She pulled up on Tommy at Ghost Grave. He said, I need Diana or Drew. It don't matter to go. I need both of them motherfuckers to go. More so Diana, because I feel bad for Drew, because everything works against Drew for some reason. Diana just turned into a motherfucking snake in the grass, just like Effie. But so Monet's like, who the fuck is Kate Egan? Because she know Tommy, because she pulled up on Tommy at the end of season 1 at Ghost Grave. He's like, I don't know. She said Kate Egan said that you asked that you gave that you pulled up on her, that you came to her house giving out addresses. And he was like, who the fuck is Kate Egan? No, none of that shit happened. And so they like, well, Tariq is like, well, then I don't know then. So they haven't put 2 and 2 together yet. But it's going to come around of when they figure this shit out. And Diana is pregnant. Now, let me rewind back to Davis McClain. Davis McClain, who was suspended, he's trying to get his license back. One of his employees, well, I guess not his employee now, but when he wasn't disbarred, came and who's representing him. She's a baddie. They do the do, but he's still temporarily suspended. And Detective Carter pulls up on Davis McClain, and he's like, "Motherfucker, whatever you want, get the fuck out." And he asked him, he's another one that asked him to roll over on Tariq. And he's like, fuck you, no. And he was like, he told Detective Carter, he said, if you fuck up, you said you fuck with my life, I will fuck yours up. And that's pretty much how that conversation ended. But then, of course, Davis McClain is called Tariq and was informing him about who this cop is. He's like, yo, this is a different breed. So he might cause some problems. This is a different breed. His wife got killed. At a hospital by some people who was trying to finish somebody off who was already on a gurney. And he's been on a crusade against drug shit. Like, so this, he's to me, he's like the equivalent of The Rock in Fast and the Furious before him and Vin Diesel became cool in the storyline. So, and again, so now Tariq has that to worry about, and that's another reason why Tariq went to go see his mother to make sure she was good, but to also ask him about this cop. So, the episode ended with Monet and Tariq sitting trying to hash out how the fuck somebody found out about. Now, of course, this can come back on Tariq too, because Tariq knows who shot her too. Like they don't really know. I mean, Diana and Drew know that Tariq didn't shoot Monet, but Tariq actually knows who shot Monet because it was his mama. So it's a lot of shit that's gonna come out. But I mean, Monet said, well, whoever this is gonna die. And of course, Tariq didn't say nothing. But I'm just wondering. I mean, I don't. It's probably not even going to matter to Monet who pulled the trigger once she finds out that Drew and Diana set the shit up. That's going to be one of those gut punches to the heart. Well, one of those punches to the heart that's going to be like, oh my God, my kids really hate my guts. They want me dead. Ain't that a bitch? So, they say this is a big rich town. Yeah. I just come from the poorest part. So that's my power review. And of course, next Friday, I will review the next episode as well. It will only take half as long because I won't have to go through 2 episodes. Now, on to the sports matter of things. The NBA Finals. What NBA Finals? The Celtics are up 3-0. They're playing Game 4 right now. Dallas is up by 26 at halftime. Boston is mailing this game in because they're going to go balls to the wall in Game 5 to win the championship in Boston. That's all this is about. Boston is not even they're just trying to get out of this game with no injuries. I mean, that's all the report in regards to basketball. Because, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the finals have been a dud. And I mean, and I guess maybe I should give Boston some credit, but I mean, Boston, I don't like their style of basketball. It looks like it's going to win them a championship. So really, what can I say about that outside of, I mean, congratulations. Honestly, what can I say about that outside of congratulations? So, in regards to it's a big fight tomorrow. Big fight. Tank Davis is fighting Frank Martin tomorrow. I will be watching that fight. I got to. Yeah, I mean, To me, Boston is born. All they do is shoot threes. Now, I will say this: Boston hasn't had that game where they've gone off from three in the final, so they have been winning games when Tatum and Brown and Elmer Fudd ain't making them damn threes. But I mean, doesn't to me it really doesn't matter what happens tonight because clearly Boston has mailed this one in. You know, they're just the halftime speech is probably like, man, just nobody get hurt. I wouldn't be surprised if Tatum and Brown didn't play. If Tatum, Brown, Derek White, Al Horford, if none of them played in the second half of the game, because it's clear what they're doing. It's simple. Win it in Boston. That's the way I believe they're putting it. That's the way I believe that they're trying to carry it. Win it in Boston. It is what it is. Rest in peace. I did a Sports Plus Life quickie the other day, the day Jerry West passed away. So rest in peace to the great Laker legend. Before I do a quick conspiracy theory, there is something I want to say about this whole Caitlin Clark thing again, you know, because once again, people, we talked about this on Monday, me, Tony, and Sean, you know, we differed in regards to the way we overall feel about Caitlin Clark. I think there's a reason why I'm clear why the reason why Caitlin Clark is getting so much attention and why people are trying to build her up to be the savior of the WNBA. And I would like to watch this video is just quickly in regards to her situation. And it's by Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, I can't always say that I agree with everything Umar Johnson says because, like, Umar Johnson, he heavy. Like, I mean, he heavy. And he believes what he believes. I respect him a great deal, but sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah. But I think he hit the Caitlin Clark shit on the head perfectly. So let's listen to this.
Foul. Well, everybody's up in arms calling.
Let's see. Hold up.
The situation involving Caitlin Clark, I believe, is unfortunate for her because she has been relatively modest and quiet since entering the WNBA. I think the problem is that the white power structure and the WNBA has an agenda to make Caitlin Clark the athletic face of the league. Now, they can make her the marketing face of the league, but it's going to be difficult to make her the athletic face of the league because she is not to the WNBA what LeBron James was to the NBA. She's not a Luka Doncic or a Nikola Jokic. She's not a Larry Bird, if you will. And so the problem, as I see it, is the WNBA wants to pass off responsibility for Caitlin Clark not being the instant athletic phenom they want her to be. They want to pass off that responsibility onto the Black women of the WNBA. And it appears that they're trying to push a narrative that says Caitlin Clark isn't able to maximize her talents on the court because she's being bullied by these much larger Black women.
Okay, now, do I agree with some of that? Yes. Do I agree with the narrative being strictly that she's being bullied by Black women only? No. I think that it's that the veteran players in general have an issue with the way that she is pretty much being handed everything that she hasn't earned yet in the WNBA. But I agree pretty much with most of what he is saying. So let's keep it going.
And that simply isn't true. Basketball is a competitive sport. You play to compete. That is the nature of athletics. So shaming and blaming Black women for competing against Caitlin Clark when you all took it upon yourselves to exaggerate her skill set simply isn't fair. You saw what happened the other day. There was a game that the Indiana Fever had with Chicago Sky. And Kennedy Carter, I believe is the sister's name, she had shoulder checked Caitlin Clark to the floor. The referees called a common foul, and the WNBA later upgraded the common foul to a flagrant foul. Well, everybody's up in arms calling Kennedy a bully. She's jealous. The Black women of the WNBA are jealous of Caitlin Clark because she's getting all of this attention. Wait a minute, time out. Why didn't anyone talk about the play just before the one that led to the shoulder check. Caitlin Clark went over the head of one of Kennedy Carter's teammates, hit her in the head. The foul was not called. And then on the way back up the court, she proceeded to trash talk the opposing team. So you
ding 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 ding. This is what I was telling to this is what I was trying to explain to Sean, Tony, and Aaron. Ding 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 ding. Okay. She started that shit and the other player just finished it, but it got blown out of proportion because, oh, not dear little Miss Caitlin, not Miss Savior of blah, 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 blah. You know, like, and again, controlling the narrative.
No, in any sport, when you foul someone and it's not called, and then you have the audacity to trash talk the other team on your way up the court, paybacks are due. That's in the WNBA, that's in the NBA, that's in college, that's in literally what Kennedy Carter did happens all the time in the WNBA, the NBA, college, and other places. But because she's supposed to be the Cinderella of the WNBA, white America took issue with it, and nobody focused on the fact that she started the whole thing. And what really perturbed me was when I went to the sports commentators on television, I hear Charles Snow Bunny Barkley calling the black women of the WNBA jealous. He said they're jealous of Caitlin Clark. And then Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, he chimes in with the same false criticism, saying that they're jealous of Caitlin Clark. Nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. No disrespect to her, because I don't think she deserves this, because she hasn't said or done anything that would warrant anybody intentionally pursuing her beyond the fact that a lot of much better players are being overlooked in deference to the white rookie, which I could understandably recognize if you got players who've been in this league for 1 year or more years who are way better than Caitlin Clark, and they have been overlooked to be the athletic face of the WNBA, and everybody knows why. Because she's the new white girl who they want to be the ambassador for the sport. The problem is,
now I'm not with the name calling of, you know, Snow Bunny this and Snow Bunny that, because I rock with Barkley and y'all know I love Shannon Sharp. So I'm not with the name calling. But I mean, but I don't agree with the fact that they're trying to carry the narrative just as much as pretty much the damn media is. But yeah, I don't agree with the name calling. But again, his overall premise and point, I agree with, spot on. Just saying.
recognize if you got players who've been in this league for 1 year or more years who are way better than Caitlin Clark, and they have been overlooked to be the athletic face of the WNBA, and everybody knows why. Because she's the new white girl who they want to be the ambassador for the sport. The problem is she isn't that good enough. And then Matt Barnes, he chimes in again with Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, and they both say that Caitlin Clark's teammates are not protecting her. Protect her from what, Matt Barnes? Protect her from what, Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp? She started the altercation. She hit the girl in the head. I do believe it was inadvertent. It was a basketball play. I don't think it was a dirty cheap shot, but you still hit her and the ref didn't call it. And then you trash talked her and you got what you were looking for. So why are you calling on Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark's teammate, to be the plantation mammy of the WNBA and play bodyguard for Caitlin Clark? Time out. Aaliyah Boston is a National Player of the Year. Aaliyah Boston is an Olympic gold medalist. Aaliyah Boston is an NCAA champion. Aaliyah Boston has her own status and prestige in the WNBA. She's just as accomplished, if not more so, than Caitlin Clark. So why would you reduce her to being the on-court mammy whose new job now is not to play basketball, but to defend the privileged white girl, Caitlin Clark, from other black female athletes? It's not fair. And then
he took that real deep, but all of his comments in regards to Aaliyah Boston are indeed factual. They are indeed factual. Aaliyah Boston was a National Player of the Year. She was a national champion. She accomplished more in college than Caitlin Clark did, and they are teammates now. So, again, I don't disagree with much or, if anything, of what he's saying.
We come to LeBron Buck Dancing James. LBJ. And then LeBron James gets on the internet and he basically tells the black women of the WNBA to chill out and relax. Caitlin Clark is the reason you guys are getting all this new attention. She's the reason that you guys are making more money. She's the reason attendance has picked up. She's the reason you guys are getting chartered flights. Well, guess what? I disagree with you, LeBron James. I disagree with you. And let me tell you why. Have you noticed, LeBron James, Charles Barkley, Shannon Sharp, that because of Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky tickets have quadrupled in sale? That the stadium has quadrupled in attendance? Why is nobody talking about the Angel Reese effect?
Hello.
So you're telling me people are going to watch Angel Reese, although Caitlin Clark does not play in Chicago, people are going to watch Angel Reese because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA? That's not true. They're watching Angel Reese for Angel Reese.
Hello.
Last time I checked, Angel Reese beat the University of Iowa for the national championship 2 years ago. And the reason why Angel Reese is being demonized by the WNBA, white media, white society, and the coonocracy of the WNBA is because they did not forgive her for spoiling Caitlin Clark's season 2 years ago. In the 20.
He's absolutely right, but coonocracy, that's a funny ass word. That's a funny coonocracy. He's absolutely right though. Because yeah, LSU last March, last April of 2023. Yeah, they beat Caitlin Clark. Yep, sure did.
2022-2023 national semifinals of the women's NCAA tournament, Caitlin Clark in Iowa went against North Philadelphia's Dawn Staley and the undefeated Lady Gamecocks of the University of South Carolina. They were undefeated. And the referees robbed Dawn Staley and the Lady Gamecocks. It was a highway robbery. If you breathed on Caitlin Clark, they called a foul. But when the Lady Gamecocks were being beat up, Aaliyah Boston and company, no fouls were called. They were robbed. So after the white snow bunny referees robbed South Carolina in the national semifinals game, America thought that Caitlin Clark would cruise to the national championship. But guess who had something to say about that? Angel Reese and the LSU Tigers. And Angel Reese knocked off Caitlin Clark to win an NCAA National Women's Championship, and America has not forgiven her for that. Let's go to this year. So once again, Iowa sees Dawn Staley's Lady Gamecocks. Aaliyah.
Hold on, let me add to what he's saying as well, because not only did they beat Iowa, Angel Reese gave Caitlin Clark the "You Can't See Me," and everybody made a big deal about Angel Reese for doing that. Although the entire season, Caitlin Clark was doing the same thing to all her opponents, did it to South Carolina the game before. Nobody was saying shit about that until it was done to her. That was some bullshit. And also, after LSU beat Iowa, the first lady of America was saying, well, why can't we have both teams at the White House? Now, if Iowa had beaten LSU, do you really think anybody would have said, hey, LSU should come to the White House too, even though they lost? So that was some fuck shit as well. Just wanted to add to that.
Boston is in the WNBA. The referees cheat them this time. Now, they did beat Angel Reese in the semifinals. So Caitlin Clark and Iowa did get some of their revenge, but they didn't get all of their revenge because when Angel Reese beat you, she won a ring. When you beat her, you didn't win a ring. And then you lost to Dawn Staley, a coach, by the way, who only lost 3 games in 3 seasons. Undefeated, unprecedented season. Dawn Staley is going to go down in history as the greatest women's basketball coach of all time. But guess what?
I don't know about all that now. Dawn Staley got a long way to go to catch up with Gino Auriemma from UConn. I don't know about that, but Dawn Staley's a hell of a coach. The run that she's had has been incredible.
He's not getting no attention at all. All the attention is going on the loser, Caitlin Clark. When have you ever seen the losing team get more attention than the woman team? And to add insult to injury, I can't believe that Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's running mate, had the audacity to interview Coach Dawn Staley in the aftermath of the University of South Carolina's national championship. And she asks Dawn Staley, this is a black woman, elder, interviewing another black woman, youth. And she says, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind? Because we were all rooting for Caitlin Clark in the University of Iowa. Time out, Gayle. Time out, Gayle.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. when I watched that interview, I about threw something in my fucking TV. I could not believe that Gayle King said that shit to Dawn Staley. And we were all rooting for Caitlin Clark. Who all was rooting for Caitlin Clark? What the fuck is wrong with you? I couldn't believe it. Well, actually, coming from Gayle King, I could believe that shit.
Who was rooting for Caitlin Clark in the University of Iowa? Because I wasn't. I was rooting for my North Philadelphia sister coach, Dawn Staley, and the Lady Gamecocks. And I watched them more than men's basketball. Caitlin Clark isn't the only reason people are tuning into women's college basketball and the WNBA. It's because of Dawn Staley, the Lady Gamecocks, Angel Reese, the improvement in ladies competition over the past couple years. And yes, Caitlin Clark. I will not deny her impact, but to put it in a vacuum, Stephen A. Smith, to put it in a vacuum, Matt Barnes, to put it in a vacuum, LaShawn McCoy, to put it in a vacuum, Shannon Sharp, and say that all of this new attention is due to the white female rookie is not fair to the players who are already there. This started 2 years ago when Angel Reese beat Iowa. You know as well as I know, you can't have a protagonist without an antagonist.
That is true.
Why do you go to movies to watch Batman? You go to movies to watch Batman because you know there's going to be a Riddler. Why do you go to a boxing match? Because you know if Gervonta Davis is on this side of the ring, somebody else is going to be on this side of the ring. The protagonist and the antagonist make the story. Unfortunately, white America has made Angel Reese into the antagonist. So be it. The point that I'm making is Caitlin Clark cannot exist without an Angel Reese. If Angel Reese never beats Caitlin Clark for the NCAA Women's Championship 2 years ago, we're not even having this conversation. That rivalry made this a situation. And the fact that they both transitioned to the WNBA at the same time made it even more of a rivalry. And the fact that Caitlin Clark joined a team that has Aaliyah Boston, former national champion, gold medalist, national player of the year. So her former nemesis is now her teammate, and they're going up against Angel Reese. That even makes for a better story. I'm not denying Caitlin Clark her greatness. I'm saying she's not doing it alone. She's not doing it alone. Angel Reese's impact is almost as strong. There's more white women in America. So yeah, Caitlin Clark is going to sell more tickets. She's going to sell more paraphernalia because there's more white women in America than black women. That goes without saying. But to try to reduce Angel Reese to being a hater and jealous of this girl is not fair. Last time I checked, Caitlin Clark does not lead the NBA, the WNBA in any category.
Nope.
She doesn't lead the WNBA in any category. Her team has the second worst record in the entire WNBA.
Yep.
Who is jealous of that? Who is jealous of that? And then Shannon Sharp, along with Matt Barnes and everybody else, Shady McCoy and the rest of these Negropeans, they are up there.
Yo, again, I'm not with the name calling because I rock with, I like all those dudes who just named Negropeans. But, but I'm going to say this. Dr. Umar does his homework. He know, I mean, because everything he's saying in regards to the WNBA in this situation, he's pretty much spot on. He ain't stuttered once. So a lot of people who try to talk WNBA be stuttering because they really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He's not, honestly, he's really, for the most part, he's spot on. I don't know if he said Aaliyah Boston. Now, Aaliyah Boston was not on that team in 2023, that South Carolina team that lost to Caitlin Clark. She was already in the WNBA. But Tony, I see you. I'm going to bring you on.
They're talking about how she's being unfairly targeted. Guess what? Angel Reese has been just as targeted on the basketball court as Caitlin Clark. Did you see the game a couple of days ago where the player from the opposing team picked Angel Reese up and slammed her to the ground, and she ended up getting ejected? Why didn't Shannon Sharp talk about the bullying of Angel Reese? Why didn't Charles Snow Bunny Barkley talk about the bullying of Angel Reese? Why didn't LeBron James and Shady McCoy and Stephen A. Smith talk about the bullying of Angel Reese? Why are we only talking about the alleged bullying of a Caitlin Clark? I think it's racist. I think it's unfair. Do you know what just happened last night or the night before? Asia, I forget Asia's last name. She's also a former NCAA Women's Champion.
Wilson.
She's also a former National Player of the Year. She just made WNBA history last night or the night before. She plays for the Las Vegas Aces. She's also a Dawn Staley product. She just scored 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. She's the first player in WNBA history to score 35 points, grab 10 rebounds, dish out 5 assists. It's never been done in a single game. She plays for the Las Vegas Aces. Guess what? Every home game has been sold out so far this year in Las Vegas. Is Caitlin Clark responsible for that? Is Caitlin Clark responsible for the sold out games in Chicago? What are we doing here? I can't believe Stephen A. Smith, Snow Bunny Barkley, Snow Bunny Sharp, Matt Barnes, LaShawn McCoy, LeBron James. I can't believe they're going out of their way to help the NBA and white America paint this false narrative that Caitlin Clark is just so good and everybody else is jealous of her. That's not true. You're putting her on a pedestal and she's not good enough at this time to live up to the hype or to the expectation. All of those women, including Caitlin Clark, are responsible for the new hype in the WNBA. And if I may, LeBron James, who I love and respect, Black wife, Black children, took his friends from childhood, had them trained, educated, and they became part of his economic empire. Nothing but respect for LeBron James with regard to that. But how is it that LeBron James can come to the aid of Caitlin Clark and protect her from her Black competition in the WNBA? And how is it that LeBron James could stand in solidarity with Israel against its occupation and genocide of Palestinians? Over 100,000 Palestinians have been murdered as a result of this war. But LeBron James and Maverick Carter came out publicly in defense and in solidarity with Israel. So you came to the defense of a white country. You came to the defense of a white girl. But LeBron James, can I ask you a question? Where was all this energy 2 Junes ago in 2022? Where was all this energy, LeBron James, 2 years ago when a Black man from your hometown of Akron, Ohio, by the name of Jalen Walker, was shot more than 90 times by the police of Akron? He was unarmed. He fled on foot. They caught up with him, executed him. His body was riddled with nearly 90 bullets. And do you know what LeBron James had to say about it? I have to pray for my city. That's all he could offer in defense of Jalen Walker, the Black community of Akron, Ohio, and Jalen Walker's family. I have to pray. Well, why didn't you pray for Israel and Palestine? Why didn't you pray for Caitlin Clark? You stood up in defense of Israel. You stood up in defense of Caitlin Clark, but LeBron James couldn't stand up in defense of Jalen Walker, who was executed with 90 bullets by the police in Akron, Ohio. Here's what we need to understand. The traditional Black bourgeoisie no longer exists. They no longer have in America academically trained Negroes who can influence the political and social behavior of Black America. You don't have the Jesse Jacksons with the influence they used to have anymore. You don't have the Al Sharptons with the influence they used to have anymore.
I don't disagree with that neither, but all right. The topic I was just more or less interested in was the Caitlin Clark topic. Tony, what up, homie?
So he's wrong. And on paper, what he said was correct, but he's wrong. And I'll tell you why he's wrong. Because he's trying, even with what he's talking about in terms of LeBron, he's correct. Because I got my personal feelings about athletes and social issues. This has been a thing since the Kaepernick thing. But in terms of what he's talking about in Caitlin Clark, he's wrong because you're talking about a business. It's a business. They're always going to do what's best for business. And that being said, he said the quiet part out loud. That's what I don't understand. He said white America outnumbers. So if you have soccer moms, middle-aged white women, bringing their young white daughters to WNBA games, it's enhancing that business. Them numbers done went up 20% ever since this. Now, again, this is not Caitlin Clark. She's just balling. She's just playing ball. She's just doing what she would ordinarily do. But from the business aspect, there's a reason why that is what that is. The media darling. I don't care what industry it is. I don't care whether you Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. If you a media darling and somebody can make a buck off of you, or they can enhance their business, they're going to do it on your back. That's just the nature. Green outweighs black, white. So while he's correct in the sense that, yes, there are more talented players that were already there, they were not necessarily ginning up that level of interest from a certain demographic. Now, you have already have a segment of black women watching it. Now you got them white soccer moms and all that watching. And that is due to Caitlin Clark's presence. Whether you agree about her being better than Angel Reese, none of that actually matters. You putting butts in seats, selling tickets, selling merchandise. And at the end of the day, that is the big thing. That is the biggest struggle that the WNBA, it's not a matter of whether these chicks can ball, whether they can play basketball. Clearly they can play basketball, but whether people will want to pay to watch them play basketball has been the problem thus far. Anything that you can.
I'm saying, okay, and I'm not saying that anything that you're saying is wrong, but all he's saying is that she's not doing it by herself. That's all he's saying.
No, but what I am saying is this she's doing by herself. This part, just by her presence, is drawing that media attention and this controversy. Good controversy, bad controversy. It causes people to tune in. Caitlin Clark is not, as I said, she's doing this passively. She's just playing ball. She's doing what she ordinarily would do. It is the media. It is, the outside forces that are driving this. But
tickets are selling
the
out.
fact of the matter is, you never know. The middle-aged soccer mom don't care how good a basketball player Angel Reese is. That's what I'm saying. Okay, she don't care. But if she's putting a butt in that seat, it benefits Angel Reese, irregardless to whether that middle-aged soccer mom never even likes Angel Reese. The fact that she's coming to watch because of Caitlin Clark benefits Angel Reese. It benefits all the women in the WNBA. Well, because they get to showcase their talents to a broader spectrum.
It's because of Caitlin Clark that Las Vegas arenas are selling out? That's because of Caitlin Clark? Or is it because they got the best team in the world with the best player in the world?
No, but you're talking about the best team. What about on a broad level? Why are they still in the red then, B?
So
why are they in the red?
So Chicago, they're selling out the team that Angel Reese. And
why are they in the red? You're talking about two teams. Why are they in the red? Why have they been in the red so long?
Oh, I mean, I never said that she was wrong. All I'm saying is that she's not doing it by herself. Fuck that soccer mom.
No, listen. No. You don't understand. Mr. Boxing aficionado, let me ask you a question. How many people do you suppose during Muhammad Ali's heyday, how many people do you suppose came to his fights just to see that uppity mouthy Negro get his head knocked off? Maybe.
I mean, for the same reason people came to Floyd Mayweather's fights.
They didn't like they weren't even boxing fans. They just came just for that purpose. But at the end of the day, they paid that ticket.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. What are you doing? Okay, but that means you don't bust in the room. Mind your business. Shut your door. I'm sorry. No, my kids was acting like they was upstairs scrapping. No, I'm sorry. I had to shut that shit down. Okay.
No, but clearly, Caitlin Clark is not playing basketball by herself. Clearly. Neither was Michael Jordan, though. But you would have thought that basketball began and ended with Michael Jordan.
No. And you know better than that.
No.
You know better than that.
No, I know better than that.
Because Jordan didn't say the NBA. Jordan didn't say the NBA. You know that was Magic and Larry. You know that.
No, but what Jordan did do, but what Jordan did do is make it international. He made it a worldwide thing. Versus it just being local.
David Stern and Michael Jordan made it international. I'm not taking anything away from him. But Magic and Larry made it.
So that's what I'm. But you just said the quiet part out loud again. You just said the quiet part out loud. If David Stern could take one guy, just one guy, and make that entity into the marketability, into the giant that it became, what do you think they're thinking? They're thinking the same thing. If you can get them to get, all of a sudden you got a demographic that was not coming to your games that was not watching. The people that were watching the WNBA already, they're gonna keep watching. But there's the people that aren't watching that you want to kind of get on board. And I don't care. They don't care how they get them on board. It's a good marketing thing. It's a good thought. You're in the red. You got a business. Damn all the politics and all the, this, that, and the other. Yeah, you're going to keep pushing these other women because you got all these teams and you need them all to make revenue to be successful. However, if you can get a certain group of people backing you on board, and yeah, it may come from that soccer mom because they got a lot of money and a lot of time on their hands and a lot of daughters that may want to be like Caitlin. But hell, some of them little white girls, them little white soccer moms might bring their daughter to the game and their daughter might end up wearing an Angel Reese jersey. You don't know. But the whole point is they would not have brought them to the game if it wasn't for.
They may want,
so look, while I understand what Umar was saying,
just because Dr. Umar was saying that it's not her by himself doesn't make him wrong. I think he's spot on.
If I'm sitting in the WNBA marketing division and I'm the head of marketing, I'm trying to figure out what's the problem. What's the problem? How do I gin up more interest? How do I get more butts in the seats, sell more tickets? That's all I'm concerned with.
Well, I'm happy for the game.
And if the talent that is existing is not doing that, then what do you do?
Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that the WNBA is getting more shine. And you think I wouldn't credit Caitlin Clark for helping with that? Of course I would. I mean, I'm definitely happy for them because if you ask me, I said this on Monday and I meant it. If you've actually sit and watched some of these WNBA games, I've sat there and I've watched a couple of them. And I watch a couple of them every year. I'm not going to sit here and say I watch every time a WNBA game comes on, I watch it. No, I'm not going to say that. But if it's a couple of players that I rock with, especially if Candace Parker was playing, Asia Wilson is outstanding. She's phenomenal. Skylar Diggins, and I still fuck with Diana Taurasi. I'll sit there and I will watch the game. But WNBA go harder than the NBA. I mean, as far as the actual play on the court, I'm not saying the quality is better. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about as far as the physicality and going to get that shit. The type of basketball that we love to watch in the 90s, early 2000s, and even in the 80s. I'm saying that more for you than for me. Not trying to throw age. I'm just saying. That's the way that they playing now. That's the way they playing now in the WNBA. That's why I said the WNBA is going harder than the NBA because they are playing like the stuff that they're doing in the WNBA. The NBA won't fathom that shit. And I think that's another reason why attendance is up is because the storyline right now, the storylines in the WNBA are just better. The stories in women's college basketball, the storylines are better in women's college basketball than it is in the men's.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Do you remember the NBA's struggle to try to find the next Jordan? Once Jordan stepped away, they were trying to. I mean, it was all kind of Harold Miner. It was all kinds of people.
Which
time? And they were trying because attendance.
Are you talking about the first time or the second time? Are you talking about
the second time?
Or the second time?
I'm talking about the second time. I'm talking about the second time. Second time. Because the first time it wasn't long enough. The first time wasn't long enough for them to have to worry about that. But the second time, the
second time I wouldn't have seen that as a struggle because you saw Kobe's ascension and you saw Vince Carter and Allen Iverson. I don't think it was as much trouble as it was.
Yeah, but the numbers don't bear it out. The problem is the numbers and the revenue don't bear it out.
You're talking to a person who at that time was a teenager and who just enjoyed watching basketball. I mean, when Jordan stepped away,
I get it. I get that part. But again,
I will say what hurt the NBA more after Jordan stepped away the second time after 98 was the fact that the league was on a lockout that following season. Remember, they didn't start play until the beginning of 1999. That hurt them more. That hurt them just as much, if not more so, than Jordan not being there. Because right after that, as soon as the NBA started up, we got introduced to Vince Carter on the NBA level. Kobe had finally come into his own. Iverson, people were trying with Iverson had come into his own. Now, I'm not saying none of them were at the time were the player that Jordan was, but also Shaq had turned into the most dominant player in the league. It was the NBA was. I mean, when you have transcendent talents like Magic, Michael, Bird, of course there's going to be a little lapse when they leave. I mean, the thing about Magic is when he left prematurely, Michael was right there. But when Michael left the second time, that's when the Lakers became champions. That's when Shaq and Kobe started running.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's what you're missing. Here's what you're missing, though. You brought all of them dudes up, yet the NBA's revenue was down. Irregardless, it was down for it was a decade stretch where the NBA's revenue. Yeah, it was. It was down. That number. I kid you not. I kid you not. Look it up. Look it up. The numbers. Tell me why. I'm telling you what they reported, but go you tell me why.
If you want to tell me that for 2001 and 2, fine. But when Yao Ming came to the NBA, he brought a whole country with him. So the revenue, there's no way the revenue was down for a decade after Jordan left.
It was.
No way.
It was down for a decade.
Okay.
Look it up. Look it up again. When you're factoring in, all they're looking at is the bottom line numbers. At the end of the day, inflation factored in as well, down. But here's the problem. They had all these individuals. Okay, the WNBA has never really had a singular individual that drew people in from the get-go. The talent of the NBA was always there. It was always there. It was there before the merger. We know that because we know the names of the players that are Hall of Famers. But they needed something to ignite. Well, what ignited them? Well, you just said it. Magic rivalry. Where? From where? Where did it come from? Dr. Umar just laid all. The funny thing is, he just laid all of this stuff out. He was talking about college rivalry, and then they carried it to the WNBA. Are you not looking at Magic and Larry Bird? Just in a female aspect.
I'm looking at the revenue numbers right now for the same time period you're talking about. They went up every year. Do I need to pull it up and put it on the screen? I will. They went up.
Yeah, pull it up and put it on the screen because.
Okay. I'm reading this right now. The largest drop in revenue occurred during the 2020-21 season. That's it. But I'm gonna pull it up.
That's the largest drop. That's the largest drop.
I'm pulling up right now. NBA revenue because the NBA they had too, like, I understand what Jordan was, but it wasn't that much of a decrease from 1999 to 2019. And you said a decade. So I pulled up a decade's worth, and it's showing me that each time the revenue rose up. Each time the revenue, each year, God damn it. Hold up. Okay. All right.
Nevertheless, I don't agree with the like you said, the name calling thing, because really at the end of the day, they're not wrong in saying what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't agree with the name calling. I think that's unnecessary. But I mean, they have a bar graph to show exactly and the years for the revenue. Now I can pull up 1998 revenue if you want to, because all of that.
What are the?
This is from 2002. Okay, this is from 2001 to 2022. This is what it says: NBA league revenue by the year, and in parentheses billion. So also we start off at billions of dollars.
Right, but what was it? The problem is, what was it before that? Because in the big picture, you see, you see it's gradually inclining, not peaking, except for these last 4 years, 5 years. Also, that person that made that comment, they're wrong as well. Before I got off,
What are you talking about?
About the National Guard.
National Guard, huh?
Yeah.
National Guard? What? You talking about National Guard or Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, and the National Guard is tied directly into the National Guard. The reason why whoever made that comment, I have an idea, but whoever made that comment, this is one of these things that frustrate me to no end, because they think you're stupid. And it's really kind of insulting to think that people are not going to sit and listen to the whole thing and or do their research. It's sort of like there's this viral video that the orange Kool-Aid drinkers put out there of Joe Biden at the G7, and he's with all these world leaders, and he turns and kind of walks away from the world leaders, and Prime Minister of Germany, I think, comes and taps him on the shoulder to get him to turn around and come back over and take a picture. What they don't show is who he's talking to. He's talking to troops that just parachuted in. They literally landed on the ground next to him. So he's literally talking to troops. But they cut that part out and just made it seem like he was walked off and talking to himself. So, but that's what I mean in terms of the Nancy Pelosi thing in the National Guard. During January 6th, her daughter was recording the whole thing, and she was talking to one of the Secret Service guys that was in the Capitol at the time, and she was also talking to one of her assistants, and she was saying that was on me. I knew how these people are. I should have gotten the National Guard here ahead of time. The reason why she didn't is because she didn't want to repeat the optics. Remember the optics with Black Lives Matter when the National Guard was there? She didn't want that particular optics, and she didn't actually think them people were going to attack the Capitol. So for those people that say, somehow she's at fault because she should have had the National Guard there, you're dismissing the fact that the president of the United States had people there to come and attack the damn Capitol. You understand? That's like saying you're blaming me because I didn't hire a personal bodyguard, to prevent somebody coming up and shooting me or some shit. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why would if you really think about it, why would the Speaker of the House do something that they never had to do in history? Like, ain't no Speaker of the House ever had to call no National Guard because they were afraid of the Capitol getting stormed.
Somebody in the chat just said you just said the quiet part out loud. Y'all niggas.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell somebody put down the damn tang. Put down the tang. Put down the tank. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Put down the tank. They claim they're not a Trump supporter yet. I mean, why? Why I feel like he walk around in drag with a blonde wig on, with a red tie pretending to be. Why do I feel like that though?
I'm not we're not with the name calling. No. Y'all have a difference of opinion. That's all. Y'all have a difference of opinion when it comes to y'all political agreement. And I'm like this. You on one end, he's on the other end. And I'm like, fuck all of them. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Because they all a bunch of lying ass so-and-sos. Biden administration ain't done shit.
But you know what I'm on? I'm gonna tell you something. To sit down and watch. But I want you to dig deeper into it other than what you see on the surface. Sit down and watch Civil War if you haven't yet.
Is this the documentary you're talking about on Netflix, right?
No, it's the movie Civil War.
Oh, what's it on?
It could be it's in the theaters. So it could be wherever you. Yeah.
Oh, it's a new movie.
Yeah. And it's literally based on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I gotta bring my FS to you because I can't get no movie stream, bro. I can get my sports, but I can't get no movie stream.
Because you need an update. It don't work for every update.
That's what I just said. I said I probably need an update because I can't get shit.
But yeah, the context of the movie is a country that has come to war, where Texas and California are its own military coalition because there's a president that believes that he should not leave office. He's staying in office for a third term and tries to hijack the government. An authoritarian. As a matter of fact, Florida has seceded from the United States and declared itself part of Central America.
Oh shit.
So, watch it, and then you tell me again, similarities in thought processes. Watch that Hitler joint on Netflix. Watch Civil War, and then look at reality. Look at reality. Look at what the Supreme Court is doing, and then you understand who the real enemy is. At the end of the day, like you said, I agree. All politicians are dirty. That's just facts. All politicians are dirty, but some politicians are more dangerous than dirty.
They all dangerous.
That's what I'm worried about. Because trust and believe. The first targets, the first people who got targets on them are people that are part of the spectrum. I'm
gonna tell you this. This is just my opinion. Neither administration will do the American public any good. No, because you know what? This country is out of fucking control. It's out of control, and it's not so much that America is the land of opportunity. It's just that other countries are their lands of order. Yeah, I said it. Because, somebody asked me in my job, was Juneteenth, were we off on Juneteenth, which is next Wednesday? I laughed. Said, why is it so funny? I said, because black people ain't got that type of respect yet. Because my thing about Juneteenth, I still don't know what to make of it. Because if this is supposed to be black people's version of the 4th of July, don't half-ass it. 4th of July, everybody's off, pretty much except for grocery stores and fast food and restaurant chains. Maybe some auto dealerships, but don't half-ass it. Take it all away. I'm just like the whole throw us a bone shit, which is honestly all reactionary. Everything has been fucking reactionary since 2020. That shit don't do nothing for me. Just like when Major League Baseball acknowledging the Negro League records. Like, thanks, but motherfucker, you 100 years late. And plus, and
let me ask you this. Let me ask you a very simple question. Simple question. So we can't do a broad brush on this one. Simple question. Who is always fighting against immigrants? Who? And why?
Mm-hmm. For black people?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, what?
No, it's the other. Namely a particular party. Well, one, they claim it's under the veil of, or they're taking our jobs from hardworking Americans. Who the hell gonna go out there and pick? What white people gonna go out there and pick them damn strawberries? Who gonna go out there in the hot middle of the heat in the summer and pick them vegetables? They're not. So it's not about the jobs. It's about votes. It's about numbers game. In the big picture, being the majority, ever since this country's history, the beginning of this country's history, well, they were the minority then. But once they became the majority, they wanted to stay the majority. This is the very reason why they have a problem with the brown immigrant coming across the border. They're coming across to rape your daughter. They're getting released from prisons and insane asylums to come across the border to rape your daughter. The brown Muslim that's coming into the country to blow you up and kill you. And when Obama was the president, he was the brown president that wasn't born in America, so he's illegitimate. The whole point is the numbers game. The numbers game changes everything. If you got more black, brown, and other in this country, and Becky is choosing more Tyrone, Shang-Chi, and Juan than she is Chad, so ain't no blonde hair, blue-eyed children being born no more. And eventually, Tyrone, Shang-Chi, and Juan. And she ain't choosing Chad. She ain't choosing Chad, and that's killing their dreams because they was expecting to have 2.5 blonde hair, blue-eyed grandchildren. And what ends up happening when the numbers game tilts out of their favor, you have more Jasmine Crockett's in Congress. You got more Ketanji Brown Jacksons on the Supreme Court.
Who?
Ketanji Brown Jackson, Supreme Court Justice, sister. And she's a sister. She ain't like Clarence Thomas.
No, I mean, with a name
and
like
so
Ketanji, I believe it.
and so you have more of that, and then the power dynamic shifts. That's what I'm saying. There's one party, yeah, they may be crooked on some level, but they're not railing against that. They're inclusive, at least. The Republicans, they're not inclusive. Only around election time do they trot out some jigger nigga like Tim Scott, coming out there like Jack Steven. Man, so who is that nigga on that nag? And he's an embarrassment.
When you said
he's an embarrassment.
When you said Jigga nigga, I thought you was talking about Jay-Z.
No, I ain't talking about Jay-Z, but they'll trot them out and try to pretend like black people are for them. In the big picture, yeah, the Democrats have taken advantage of the votes of color. So that's their dirty, part of the game. But at the same time, at least some of us can get our feet in the door in that party. At least they're inclusive. They're not trying to take abortion away, the women's choice away.
Well,
you understand?
I already know why they're trying to do that, and it's the numbers game that you're talking about. I knew that, of course.
So in the big picture, again, all I say to people is, you're always voting for the lesser of two evils. One is obvious. One is obvious.
Fuck that. Vote for it. Vote
again, but you're still always voting for the lesser of two evils. And when you sit back and don't choose, you're voting for the worst.
Vote
by default.
Vote independent.
You can't vote independent. The independent party has the independent party has no say in this country.
Vote for me. I promise there'll be no jigger niggas with me.
Yeah, you don't ever want that. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't do, I'm being honest, those kind of people, they don't do us any good. They're a disservice to all of them, for real. They just need to be taken behind the woodshed and go ahead and put two in, because they don't do us no good. Like literally, these are the arguments. These are the arguments that you have where I know a black guy. I got a black friend. Yeah, your black friend is Tim Scott. That's your black. Tim Scott is every white man's friend.
I got a message for all you jigger niggers.
I'm just keeping it 100 because again, people like we need more Jasmine Crockett's, and you're not gonna get that out of the Republican Party. Like literally, I wouldn't be surprised if that sister ended up punching Marjorie Taylor Greene in her jaw. I would laugh. I would crack up. Like it was so good.
And wait a minute, don't you and Rob agree that she a dude?
Yeah, she a dude. She's a he. She's a he.
So she was born with a nut sack.
And they literally when you got Jimmy Kimmel and them going in on her nightly, calling her clan wife Marjorie Taylor Greene, that tells you what things are.
Yeah, but again, I can't because all of that stuff, all of that shit is to me, it's just, that's like mind control shit. Like I'm not paying attention to no fucking celebrity talking about vote for this person, vote for that person. No, because what all of that bullshit that was talked in 2020 was pure fuckery. It was pure fuckery. You just said it yourself. They have taken advantage of the black vote. Pure fuckery.
Oh, no. I said it in a general sense. That's not global. I'm saying it in a general sense. Okay. When you get to the point, when I mean taking advantage of it, when you get to the point like what Hillary Clinton did, she assumed that all black people, and that she just had our vote in the pocket. Maybe because of her husband, maybe because of whatever, but she didn't actually get her ass out there and campaign. She didn't do much of anything to appeal to the black community. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's stuff like that I'm talking about when you assume that I'm going to do something for you just because you're taking advantage of me.
Oh, that's what the fuck Joe Biden's administration did.
Nah, I actually see
They took advantage.
What happened in 2020?
What happened in 2020? The George Floyd, all that stuff. Well, we're going to do the George Floyd Policing Act. You never heard of it.
Yeah, but come on. You're only telling half the story. The other half of the story is it's funny because I just brought his name up. Who was supposed to be working with them to get that law passed? Tim Scott. And that nigga did not do. At the end of the day, they backstabbed them. They backstabbed the Democrats. They would not pass it. See, that's the broken system where you need them 60 votes and nobody ever actually gets 60. They'll have 52, 53 votes, and then you got to win over 7. And then that's when some people get in somebody else's ear and say, no, don't do the right thing because this, and this. We got to keep the guns. We got to be able to keep guns, or we got to be able to protect the police or whatever. That was Tim Scott, literally, that stymied that.
Again, hey, listen, again, you keep up with this more than I do. This country.
I try to tell you certain things, and in the big picture, it's not hard. Legislature is not hard to figure out. Certain things you require 2/3 vote. Certain things you require 60 votes. In the big picture, if you can't get the 60, you're not going to get something passed. You can throw out an executive order as the president, but it can only do but so much. That's the problem. So they legitimately brought that bill to the floor, but just like the immigration, the border bill, there were some Republicans that worked with Democrats to get that border bill together. Do you know that asshole Trump called his people, his loyalists, and said, "Don't vote for it." That's why the immigration bill didn't get passed. They didn't want to give Biden a win before the election.
Everything that you're saying, and cool. Again.
It's not cool. That's the problem. It's not cool.
I'm not saying that it's cool, but what I'm saying is this country is out of fucking control. It's not that this is the land of opportunity. It's not so much as this is the land of opportunity as this countries are lands of order. Listen to me, people. Let me say that again. It's not so much that America's the land of opportunity as much as it is that other countries are lands of fucking order.
What country is land of order?
Give a fuck anyone but America, because this country's out
What
of control.
Country? No, you said it. What country?
Britain.
No, they're not. They just had Brexit. Britain had Brexit, bruh. Britain had Brexit. They are not in order. They were firing prime ministers left and right. Okay, they're not in order.
You know how many countries it is out there? You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
No, what I'm saying is none of these countries that you think are in order are not in order either.
Well, just because it's not the ones that's coming to my mind doesn't mean that it's not countries out there with more order than
Well, I'm sure there are some countries that are in order.
Well, do you agree with me when I say America's out of control?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
If there's a yes in there,
I'll say America always has been on what you might call a razor's edge, where it could tilt one way, but it could also tilt another way. It's always America's always been like that. But we've only had one civil war. This is building up to a second one.
I know that.
And that's the dangerous part.
Because it's out of fucking control. It's out of fucking control because everybody's trying to control it. And
it's out of control. It's out of control because what you're seeing is out of control is because America has always had a level of trash ass people here. And in the big picture, all they needed was a figurehead. This is, again, trust me on this. Watch the Netflix thing and you'll see how Hitler came to power. And if you see how Hitler came to power, you'll see what Germany was before that. It's called Hitler Trial of Evil or something. It's really about the Nuremberg trials, about the Nazi trials, but it goes through the entire history of the rise of the Third Reich. And without the people, again, without them trash ass people initially supporting Hitler, Hitler had no power. He had no power.
Okay.
And what you're talking about, I'll put it this way. When Mitt Romney was running for president, for instance, you may have said some of the same things, but you weren't thinking the exact same things. It just wasn't that way.
I didn't say none of that. When Mitt Romney was running for president, I was like, okay, I'm voting for Barack.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a general sense. There wasn't this thing of where the country's on the brink of disaster. It wasn't that feeling. Because you just knew that they would get to a certain point. All politicians thus far would get to a point where they would say enough is enough and just stop. That we're beyond that now, because now this dude is like one step from basically, pressing a fucking button saying Russia can invade whoever the fuck they want to invade, and even our allies, and it ain't our responsibility. And yeah, we'll even help them. Come on now.
It's out of control because both of these motherfucking parties want control of it, and none of these parties have the best interests of the general public at hand. They all got agendas, all of them, none of which is to the absolute benefit of the general public. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Vote for me.
Stick to it. I'm gonna tell you something. I'll give you an example, and then all I'm gonna ask you. You and I could have a sidebar conversation, not on the podcast.
No problem.
Student loans. Who wants their child fresh out of college to start out with $60,000, $70,000 debt? Who the hell wants that? I want to go back to school, but I can't afford to because I'm gonna end up having to pay $50,000 or whatever, blah blah blah. Hey, so Biden does the student forgiveness, debt forgiveness. Who's pushing back against it? The Republicans. Who didn't? Who went all the way to the Supreme Court? Who you got on the Supreme Court? Majority of Republicans. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Can't forgive their debt. No. That's helpful to people. That's helpful to everybody in this country.
You're absolutely right. But who's pushing back on reparations for us, bro? Everybody.
What? The Republicans. The Democrats have been filed. They're the ones that's actually passing the trying to get the reparation bills on the floor. The Republicans, no. You gotta have 60 votes. 51 is a simple majority. You can pass certain shit. So Kamala Harris can come in and vote, and they can pass certain shit. You can't pass stuff like that without 60, because it's finances, it's money. You can't pass nothing like that without 60 votes.
I have a hard time believing that Mr. Joe Biden would want reparations for black people.
I'm telling you, man, do your homework and check up, read up on who has brought reparations bills to the floor. It's been all Democrats. It's not been one Republican that supported reparations. Not one.
No, I believe that 100%. I do believe that. I believe that 100%. But everybody can
something funny about Mr. Joe Biden that you brought that up. The Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, the survivors that are in their hundreds. You do realize he went there, right? He went there, and he was in favor of them getting reparations. Joe Biden did. So I'm just saying, you threw out there. It's hard to believe that Joe Biden would be for reparations. Why?
I mean, okay, but how hard is that to go for Tulsa, Oklahoma survivors when you know it's only a handful of them?
But I'm asking you, why would you believe that he would be opposed to it, to reparations? Because why?
Because of the numbers game that you just mentioned. Tulsa, Oklahoma survivors, is few. But but reparations for all black people, which were only 13%.
Yeah, but you didn't say what kind of reparations. You didn't say giving every black person in America.
Come on, bro. You know what reparations I'm talking about.
No, I don't. No, I don't. See, that's been kind of the issue. When people bring reparations bills to the floor, they're bringing it specifically. They're not bringing this general broad brush because they can't. Because everyone black here in America does not have ancestors that were slaves here in America.
That's true.
So that's the reason why you can't do the broad brush thing. Okay. They brought local things, state things. Like in Florida, they brought the state thing. The whole what was the movie? Rosewood. Remember Rosewood, Van Range? Yeah. See, bringing something like that is okay. But broad brush, every nigga in Florida, come on now. Every them niggas is Haitian.
I'm talking about reparations for every black person whose ancestors were slaves. That.
How do you prove that is the problem?
It's not that. Come on, bro.
It is that. How do you prove that?
We have shit.
It is that.
Come on, man.
If you ask the average black person,
My mother went out and found proof of my great grandfather who was a slave. If my mom can do it, the damn U.S. government can. Come on,
man. Well, I can too. I know my genealogy, but every black person here in America doesn't know their genealogy because that. we were sold, resold, and maybe at some point somebody's ancestor became a free man, and then that was the end of the paper trail, so to speak.
But it's not impossible. It's not impossible, and you know it's not impossible. The issue is
if you were able to put together a bill that said if you can prove your genealogy, if you can literally, because like you said, legwork, you know what I'm saying, to the extent that stuff is still available. For instance, Chicago, great fire in Chicago, a lot of documents and shit were destroyed. So whatever it is that somebody, if you can actually prove how much your lineage.
You know how much shit will be proven so quickly? They're not even going to give that as an option because they'll say, "Oh, well, they'll make up some shit, falsified documents, blah 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 blah." You know how this game
works.
But
none of this it's a moot point though, because the Republicans would never agree to it. They would never agree to it because they're going to say they're going to say that the national debt would not sustain it. That's been their argument the whole time.
And if that's their argument, that's bullshit too. Because any debt that America would be solved if black people got reparations. It'd be solved.
I know that. You know that. The young brothers from Tennessee. Remember the dudes, the Tennessee Three, the three people that got kicked out. Yeah. They brought that bill, reparations bill, and that's the argument that they were making.
Yeah,
that's the argument that even Dr. Umar, a lot of people there's been documentaries on that. If you inject that amount of money into the economy and give black people wealth, then all of a sudden the economy would boom. They're not trying to hear that.
It would be booming. You know that. But again, the biggest
60 votes.
But the biggest
60 votes.
Country I know, but the biggest fear in this country is going all the way back to J. Edgar Hoover saying the biggest threat to this country is the economic rise to power by black and brown people. That's why the shit will never get passed. You know that, and I know
the Supreme Court shot the Oklahoma people down.
You know what I just said is true.
Huh?
You know what I just said is true.
What'd you say?
I just said, I quoted J. Edgar Hoover. The biggest threat to this country is the economic rise of power for black and brown people. That's why that shit will never get passed. I don't give a fuck who brings up a bill. You can bring up anything. When it's time for rubber to meet the road, there'll be an excuse why. Just like, wasn't the George Floyd Policing Act supposed to get approved? Wasn't that supposed to get passed? But when it was time for rubber to meet the road, we ain't heard shit from it. But
what did I tell you? It's not hard when you can literally go look up and see the video of them saying why they wouldn't agree to it. Because of qualified immunity. That's what Tim Scott and them said. Because of we couldn't agree on qualified immunity. So basically the Democrats were saying police shouldn't be immune, and Republicans saying the police should be immune. That's why the bill didn't get passed.
I get that. I understand what you're saying.
And there's nothing, at the end of the day, what did I say earlier in this podcast? The numbers game. That's what's going to make the difference. That's what's going to make the difference.
I'm just not falling for the banana in the tailpipe from either of these rotten, low down, cheating motherfuckers. From either of them, I'm just not falling for that banana in the tailpipe.
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up your vote because you can Google Mr. Mitch McConnell and basically him saying if everybody came out and vote. He said if everybody came out and voted, the Republicans we'd never win. Well, that's why. Okay, because I would say, why do you think they spend so much time gerrymandering these maps and this, that, and the other? Because they don't want black people to come out and vote. Because if we do, they lose. It's just plain and simple.
I didn't say I would give up my vote. I didn't say that. I just said I don't have to vote for neither of them motherfuckers.
Then you might as well not vote. You might as well not vote because there's only two candidates, sir. There's only two candidates. There's not three. There's not 3 candidates. There's only 2 candidates.
Okay. I'll write my name in as
there's only 2 candidates. There's only 2 candidates, sir.
Yep.
Be smart. There's only 2. There's only 2.
I know.
There's only 2, and one of the candidates didn't want to run. One of the candidates said he only ran because the other guy ran, and he's a threat to the democracy. That's the only reason why he ran.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right.
Remember, he was still dealing with the thing with his son dying, so he didn't want no parts of it for real. And then somebody, I guess, talked to him and said, "You're the guy that can beat this guy, so can you please run?" So that's the reason why he chose to run.
What's the chick name? What's the chick name who was talking about running?
Oh, Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, yeah, I like her.
Yeah, Nikki Haley. Yeah, but you'll guess what Nikki Haley did? Guess what Nikki Haley and her voters are mad. Her supporters are mad because the people that were supporting Nikki Haley were people that previously voted for Trump, and they say we're not voting for Trump again. So we'll support you, Nikki. Nikki went ahead and endorsed Trump. They're upset at her. Now half of her voters are like, I'm going to vote for Biden because I'm not voting for Trump again. This is not what I signed up for.
Okay. For shizzle.
So, it is what it is. And then Trump, the other thing with her voters is he's not even trying to. He said they're going to come to me. No, there's a reason why they were supporting her, sir. They might be Republican, but it is what it is. In the big picture, the grand scheme of things, I keep saying it. Watch Civil War, man. Watch Civil War, and then watch the joint on Netflix about Hitler, 6 episodes, and then you tell me everything you hear that is similar to what you heard when that dude was in office and what you hear about what he's saying now. That's it.
I'm gonna watch both of them. Now, my one conspiracy theory for the night is I've always had a fascination with the Titanic story. But what was crazy is that there was a book put out in the late 1800s. Let me see what the name of the goddamn book was. The name, the Titanic, of course, which crashed in the iceberg in 1912, but there was a book that came out. It was a fictional book, and it was called Titan. The name of the ship was called the Titan, and the way the build of the ship was damn near identical, and like the Titan was an 800-foot long boat. The Titanic was an 882-foot long boat. Both ships were supposed to be the biggest, most luxurious ship of their time. The Titan cruised at 25 knots. The Titanic at 22.5 knots. The book was called Futility. Futility. The book was called Futility. And of course, at the Titan, the ship in the book, which came out in the late 1800s, this ship called the Titan crashed in an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Well, 14 years later, after that book comes out, the Titanic crashes in the North Atlantic. And in the book Futility, the Titan, 2,500 passengers were pretty much dead. 1,500 in the Titanic. So it's almost like, whoa, was that a coincidence or a prediction? Because the conspiracy is that, the Titanic crashed because it was filled with a bunch of powerful men coming from Europe who were against the Federal Reserve. They were against that banking, they were against the launching of the Federal Reserve. A lot of billionaires, very powerful men died on that ship. And, the conspiracy is, well, that was no coincidence, because if those men had made it to America, then the Federal Reserve may not have happened. Here's the one thing I can take from the Titanic sinking. And I'm pretty sure in the book Futility featuring the Titan, wasn't no black people on that motherfucker. And if it was, they was probably to help. And even if you and coming from Europe, even if you were a prominent black person, dearie, I won these tickets to the Titanic. You know, they're sailing to America. You know why ain't no black people get on that ship from Europe? Because even in 1912, bad news travels fast. And even in 1912, bad news travel fast. And even in 1912, if you knew the treatment of the American Negro, even in England, I'm pretty sure the wife of this European black man who wants to go to bloody fucking America probably said, I would like to say, dearie, have you lost your fucking mind? And then you'd read a newspaper. Oh my word. The treatment of the American Negro is horrible. I think I'll stay here in Europe. Bang, ship crash. Ain't we glad we ain't get on that boat? Like I said, even in 1912, if you a black person thinking about getting on the Titanic and going to America, boy, bad news travel fast. Because, I mean, you feel what I'm saying, bro? Who the hell, what melanated person, a free melanated person will want to come to America in 1912? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I don't think they would have. Like, honestly, I don't think they would have
either. That's what I'm saying.
Although they did come, but I just generally speaking, the regular lay person, black person, nah. But prominent, if you had some loot, some money, yeah, you come.
Yeah, and you
regretted it. If it suited your business interests.
Well, for those who got on the RMS Titanic, your business interests sank in the North Atlantic, unfortunately. But I just find that weird that literally that novel that came out 14 years before the events of the Titanic was the exact same tragedy happened in the book in real life. That's a trip. That is a trip.
Well, Titanic wasn't the only ship that sunk out there. It iceberg, so ain't far-fetched.
But if you even look at the ship's design in the Titan in the book Futility, looks damn near identical. That's just a trip. That's wild. When I saw that, and Rob sent it to me, when I saw it, I was like, this shit is wild. Because he sends me articles all the time, and I really don't look at pretty much any of them because I tell him this is the reason for this segment of the show for you to talk about that stuff. When I saw Titanic, like I said, I've always been fascinated with that story. And when I read that shit, I was like, whoa. I was like, that shit's crazy. I like, that shit is crazy. Then, of course, I have to make light of every situation. Won't no niggas on that ship. I done watched the movie a few times. What nigga did you see on the Titanic? You ain't see none. You didn't even see niggas as the help. You didn't even see niggas as the help. So I'm like, well.
The closest you got to it was the Sicilian dude.
Yep.
That was it.
Exactly. Like I said, if you was in 1912 in Europe and you was thinking about getting on the Titanic, all I'm gonna tell you is even in 1912, sending those little buttons where you touch it with your finger, bad news travels fast, even without social media.
You ain't wrong there, sir. You ain't wrong.
But anyway, I'm about to get up out of here. The Mavericks have won Game 4. Like I said, when I've talked my little bit of sports, that means nothing. This series is over. The Boston packed it in. They want to win the title on their floor. The Mavericks can have, I guess, a little bit of self-respect of saying that they'll get gentlemen swept. So there's really not much to talk about as far as men's basketball is concerned. Javante Tank Davis fights Frank Martin tomorrow. I will be tuning in. I will be making a reaction video to that fight. That's a big league. That's a big league fight. That is big time. Big time. And I've already said my RIP to Jerry West, sir. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Yeah.
So, 86 years old, that's a great life,
pretty much.
Yeah, that's a great life, so This RIP, one of the greats. I mean, the only thing that trips me out about Jerry West's accomplishments is he's the greatest executive of all time, bar none. How he only won Executive of the Year twice, and they were both in years where he didn't win championships, is just beyond stupefying to me. Now, granted, he deserved them the years that he won. Then 95 because of what he did with that young Lakers roster. With Del Harris as the coach, and then in 04 when he plucked Hubie Brown out of retirement for the Memphis Grizzlies and had them be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. That was the year the Pistons won the championship. Yeah, but you mean to tell me out of the 8 titles that he won as an executive, he didn't win them none of the years that he won titles? That's amazing to me. Amazingly dumb. But anyway, I digress.
Maybe they judge it by doing more with less, and then
I get that, but I mean,
and then most improved counts for a lot too.
I said the years that he won them. I remember those years. I'm a Laker fan. 94, 95 was when Del Harris was the coach. We had Nick Van Exel. Eddie Jones was a rookie. Cedric Ceballos had just got there. Eldon Campbell Devos. We finished number 5 in the West, won a playoff series, lost to San Antonio in 6. That was the year Houston repeated as champions. And the season after that, Magic Johnson came back. With 2004, the Grizzlies, that's when you had young Paul Gasol. In midseason, he fired the coach and got Hubie Brown, who everybody was thought was old and done. He was a commentator. To me, Hubie Brown is the John Madden of basketball. And when it comes to commentating. But they had a great year. They ended up finishing top 4 in the West. And I mean, he deserved it, but I mean, damn, 8 championships as an exec. I mean, he's the Barry Gordy when it comes to finding talent in basketball.
Yeah, I give Hubie 1A and then give Dr. Jack Ramsey 1B on that.
Well, see, Jack Ramsey was doing local Portland television when I was growing up, but I never heard him on a national broadcast the way I heard him.
He's just like Hubie. He's just like Hubie, calling out the daggone plays, and a dude missed the screen.
I heard Jack Ramsey pretty much on like bonus coverage, for Portland Trailblazer games. But I've listened to Hubie Brown my whole life,
right?
And he's still commentating, and he's in his fucking 80s, and he's still commentating, and it's still, but be that as it may, like I said, I will be on tomorrow night for a reaction video for the Tank Davis Frank Martin fight. And Tony, this has been fun. I mean, inquisitive, healthy conversation, inquisitive, fun, all of the above. So it's almost 11:30. You know what I'm about to do when I get off here, bro?
Watch what I suggested.
Well, I will do that, but I'm gonna start my laundry. And you said that this is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's called Hitler.
It's Hitler, Trial of Evil.
Netflix.
You know it because it's a 6-episode thing.
Okay. No problem. I love watching stuff like that.
And literally, I just the first episode is mostly about his young life, but once it starts talking about him, the person, just tune into that and you tell me. At the end of the day, I just want your feedback. Does it sound eerily familiar?
I'll let you know if it sounds evil or not, because I can't say if it sounds eerily familiar, because I don't pay attention to that stuff the way you do. I'm just being honest. I'll tell you if I agree with it or not, which I'm sure I'm not.
But that would explain a lot of your perspective, because when I say to you one thing is not like the other, one thing is not like the other, sir.
Okay. I can dig, bro. I can definitely dig. But anyway, it's your boy Brandon Bravon Towns for my homeboy Tony. We out this bitch, man. Can't wait till football season when we can have that. We can bring back that post game show. But peace. We love you. We'll holler at you Monday. Oh, happy Father. If I don't talk to you again, Tony, before Sunday, happy Father's Day, Brody.
Same to you, man.
Yes, sir. Later.